We started thinking about the Bicentennial. Of course, I'd been thinking about it for a while. The first thing I wanted to do is, I knew we had a plan in advance. I was involved with the Tioga County Bicentennial celebration, so I knew there was a lot that went into it for the county. I did realize that we didn't have to do as much for just the town of Candor, but I wanted to make it a really good year-long celebration, and with that, I sent notices out to form a committee. And so this was our first meeting, which was in June of last year. Now, we held it at the Hart Halfway House, which is the Masonic Lodge, for various reasons. I thought historically it was where the first town of Candor meeting was held on March 5th, of course, to do that. Now, one of the things that I tried to do, as we all know at this point, is draw in the community, the various organizations within the community, the churches, the businesses, and the Historical Society. So, thankfully, Milt, as president of the Historical Society, came and was on the committee. And so we talked about the Historical Society and what they could do, and they offered to do the talks, and that Milt already mentioned. So this was the first one, and Milt did this one. It was the forming of the town of Candor. Now, recently, I was waiting for the census to come out to get some information. And even though it's not 1811, it's 1840, and this was the population of Candor was 1,098. By 1920, there were 2,639. Now, in between that, there have been more. But now, the census that I found was 5,305. However, it's a slight decrease by 12 from the 2000 census, so it was going down a little bit. The village population, on the other hand, in 1811 wasn't available because the village didn't really incorporate until 1900. So 1906, there was 850 in the village. In 2010, there was 851. In 2009, there were only 789 residents in the village. That's just a few years ago, like last year, year before, actually. So the 210 figure is an indication that the population in the village is rising. Now, this is the age of the people living in the town. And I didn't put everyone down here, I just did a few. So under 5 years of age, this also was in the 210 statistics. There are 298, which is 5.6 of the population. 10 to 14-year-olds, there was 387. 25 to 29-year-olds, 270. And 50 to 54 years of age, 486. And you can see 62 and over is 989, which is only 18.6% of the population. The average age is 41. The town population of bisex, there are, as you can see, more females than there are males. The town population by race, predominantly white, as we all know. There's black or African Americans make up 1.1%. American or Alaska Native is 0.2%. Asian is 0.1%. And other, which they didn't say, but the other was, is 1.9%. Pardon?
I describe myself as American in that census.
All right. So you're another. So then you are under the American or Alaskan. I don't know. I have no idea how to figure it. Okay, so town housing units, prior to the September flood, of course. The total housing units are 2,359. Vacant units at the time of this report was 253.
Vacant units, 253, that's a lot of vacancies.
Well, it is, but I'm not sure what they consider a unit. It could be rentals that are not full. It doesn't necessarily mean a family home. So I'm really not sure. Family households were 1,476. Husband and wife households, 1,104. With children under the age of 18, there was 390 under the husband and wife household. People living alone was 494. Males 65 or older were only 55, whereas females 65 or older were 145. So, the February moon, we're still in February, and the snowstorm that we had back in February. Now, when it came to the Bicentennial, we had decided on March 5th, because that was well, we didn't want to use that date specifically, but it turned out that that was the very first town board meeting. So we decided to go with that night. So we had our celebration starting. And we had it at the Masonic Lodge. We had a pre-dinner open house, which was very well attended, and the Masons actually did tours for those that wanted to see the lodge meeting rooms upstairs. We also did a bigger stroll down memory lane than what we have tonight. And we left it up for, I think, a week and a half, so other people could see it at other events. And I hope some of you got to come and see it. It was, you know, a lot of history there, as there is tonight. We had a bicentennial dinner. That turned out really well. We had guest speakers that came. We had, let me see. I think that's it. Very short. St. Baldrick's Day. Now, this is something that I didn't get to attend. It was co-sponsored by the Candor American Legion and the Candor Ambulance Squad. And one of the things I think Candor is really, really rich in is community organizations working together. Candor is all about the people. It's always been all about the people, and it's very evident. And that's one of the things that I think Candor today is still very much rich in, is the unity of the community. And then the Candor Chamber of Commerce held their Candor Showcase, and that was in March. It was a pretty good turnout. It was showing what the town has to offer in businesses. And then, as historian, one of the things that I had a chance to do is I attended the Association of Public Historians. It was held in Elmira, which was really great. Now, I do have to say that one of the things that I found really exhilarating for me to have attended that was this display. This display drew so much attention for our small town. People that were also celebrating a bicentennial year have not done what we've done this year. That makes me very proud to say that. But this display, people just were looking for me so that I could explain to them what I did, why I did it, and what we were doing for the year. So I was really glad I had a chance to go to that. And then the churches cooperate a lot, which I find very, very nice. Palm Sunday procession in April comprised of members from St. Mark's Episcopal Church and the Candor Congregational Church. We've had a few facelifts this year. One is the Candor Masonic Lodge, and everybody knows it's long, long overdue, and I think the wait was well worth it. I think they did a fabulous job. I think it looks really great. And we have the Weltonville Fire Department or Company dedication. And I was really glad that I got to go to that as well. That also was very well attended. And a really nice facility. On the way back from that, I got to go visit Joy, who opens up her flower beds every year for the community. It's just a welcome sign, no fee, just to get up, go, go up her driveway, go up on the hill, and really enjoy the daffodils. Our second historical talk was in April, and that was a settlement of Candor by Nancy. which was, again, very well attended. I think all of our talks have been very well attended this year. Kingdom Hall moves and becomes the Power and Paddle Shoe Store. There you have it. That's where it's lifted up and moving across the road, and that's what it looks like today.
No.
And we also now have a new Kingdom Hall. I think they started in August working on that. Iron Kettle had rogation services, which they've been holding there the last few years. I'm not sure how long they've been having it, but rogation services are where they bless the fields, the farm, the family, the farmhouse, the machinery, and that was really well attended as well. And then they have a nice meal afterwards. A lot of people attend that. It was a beautiful day. Also, Memorial Day Parade, we have several. That's always very patriotic, and the Legion it's always does a really good job over at the cemetery with that. Brings people together. And I just had to throw this one in because we did get some publicity this year for the Bicentennial. And this is Christina Frank and Giovanni, who's the cameraman from WBNG TV for the 4th of July, came up to my house. They wanted to meet with me, and I said, well, you know, I thought, this was the segment they did on the road in Tioga County. And so I thought, well, they're going to be out and about on the road, so little did I know that they really weren't going to come up to my house, but they did and loved it and didn't want to leave. And it was a really nice day. And then we have the Kentucky Derby, and that is by the American Legion to raise money for the fireworks every year. That was a lot of fun. You can see all of the little duckies there. And then we have a June flood, a minor flooding. The top picture is the lower dam. The bottom tree is Dry Brook Road, right down the road from us. And that's Stowe Avenue in the little ditch there, where the kids are having a ball playing. Father's Day barbecue at the lodge. And then the 4th of July celebration. And everybody really pitches in to make this work. Thanks to the Candor American Legion for hosting that every year and pulling people in. It's one of the major things in the community, and very well received, and lots of fun. Okay, one of the things that I did for the Bicentennial was a village bus tour through the Tioga Tourism Office, and then I did 2 different walks. And I couldn't find my picture of the first walk, which was like a lot of people there. But I did have that one. The bus tour, I've got to say, I was really pleased. They really did not expect the number of people to show up. And they had to get a bigger bus and at the last minute. And people, like Mr. Cassiola, came at the last minute to hop on board. And we left. It was a lot of fun. The bus tour actually started like in Waltonville, and it went up over Fairfield down to into Wilseyville, and then Straits Corners kind of area, Thorn Road down Catawk Hill and back. And while I'm talking about that, both the walking tour booklets and the bus tour or driving tour booklets are available on the back there with the Historical Society for $2 a piece. So you can do your own driving around and your own walk if you want. Yes, then we did the wedding showcase, Bicentennial wedding showcase at the Congregational Church. And as you can see, we had really a good turnout, beautiful gowns. It was a great event. Then we had the next Bicentennial History Talk with Milt and myself on farming and industry, bringing us up to date. Now, one of the things I wanted to make sure we discussed was agriculture and farming today. I know we covered that as it was growing. It was a major business here in Candor for many, many years. However, here are our current statistics, okay? Today, in dairy farms, these are 210, there's 25 dairy farms, there's 13 livestock farms, 13 horticulture, and other, which lumps a lot of different things in there, 11. Now, way back when in the day, there were over 500 farms, mostly subsistence farming, and we don't have that today. So now, land usage kind of breaks things down a little bit more. Dairy farms, there's 7,960 acres in the town of Candor. Livestock farms, 2,652 acres. Other animals, goats, chickens, sheep, are grouped together, 1,138 acres. Horticulture is 1,688 acres. Timber is 2,179. And just haying, just for haying, is 1,296 acres, and then other, again, lumped together. So you can see there's a total farmland in Candor of 18,186.74 acres. Now, Candor, put this in a little bit more perspective. The town of Candor is comprised of 94.6 square miles. Okay, so that is 60,544 acres. Of that, only 18,186, or 28.42 square miles, is considered to be land maintained by some form of farming, or part of that is fallow land as well. So I have a little bit more of a perspective here. In 1825, there were 8,350 acres, or 13.505 square miles, of farmland. Okay, in 1855, there were 30,769 acres, or 48 square miles. That's a lot. In 1875, 78.83 square miles of that 94 was in farming of some form. 2010, there was only 18,186, or 28.42 square miles. So farming has really declined in Candor, especially when you look at the land usage of what's really being used for land today. Okay. The town of Candor, again, is comprised of 90.4.6 square miles. In 1875, which is the peak of land usage for agriculture, again, was 78.83 square miles. And again, today is just a 28.42. So it really has declined over the years. Okay. However, the farming that we do have is very active. We have a 4-H group, again, which comes and go like many organizations. You know, they dwindle and then they come back, and whatever people's needs are, or their fancy, and what they want to be involved in. So this is Candor 4-H at the county fair this year. And this is just, oh, it didn't click. There we go. The August sunset over West Candor. That's a hard sunset to catch, I'm going to tell you. Especially if you don't have your camera with you, and I was just lucky this time. Okay, and then we come to the September flood, which is very probably fresh in everybody's mind here. And just go through these. I've got to say, I wasn't here during this time. We had left the day before. Things really got bad and hit. So those that really pitched in and helped out really showed what this community is made of. I don't have pictures, and they were really hard to even think about taking. But Allen Memorial Baptist Church housed 55 displaced people from the Owego area. They were feeding them 3 meals a day, and the community stepped in and helped out. After 2 weeks, the shelter was closed, and the remaining 5 people were moved to a hotel. It was just impossible to keep up. You know, there was 5 people left, and they had other things going on. But, you know, for the churches to work together, for the people of the community to work together, to not only help each other, but people in other communities, really says a lot about Candor and the people of Candor. And the American Legion stepped in to hold a benefit for flood relief as well. I do have a few statistics on the flood that I got from Jim Douglas. So these are, I'm not sure how old these are, but not very old. A major flood damage, water and living space, there were 34 homes here in Candor. Moderate, which is 3 inches or more water in the basement, there were 45 homes. Minor, which is less than 3 inches of water in the basement, were 37 homes.
Feet.
Pardon?
Feet.
Feet? Oh, you're right. Thank you. Second goof for the night. Okay, this is the village statistics. Major flood damage with water in the living space, there was 13 homes. Moderate, there was 45, and minor, there were 9. Okay. Now, one thing I want to point out, even though I mentioned the benefit that we had for the flood, I say we, Candor, Legion. There are other benefits that are held throughout the year. And these are just a few of the organizations that really step in to help out when people are in need. And whether it's a fire, or a flood, or other devastations, medical, health related, you know, the people of the community step forward. Fall Festival events, that's the other big event of the year. And again, everybody steps in and does their part. The chamber really, you know, pulls that together. And these are just some of the photos, different things that have taken place. And then we had the Bicentennial hymn sing and ice cream social at the Congregational Church. I wasn't able to attend that day, but I did make it to the Fire Hall Pancake Breakfast, which they do during the winter months, I believe. Okay, now we're into the town. I need more statistics here. The town of Candor government. Supervisor is Darlene Kobler. Clerk and collector is Connie. Code enforcement officer is Jim Douglas. Highway superintendent is Kevin Noble. Town court justice Gary Dentz. And council members is Joe Bish, George Williams, Milt Doherty, and Dan Lindsay. Just in case some of you don't know this. Additional town officials, dog control is Paul and Gail Samoysi. I've gotten calls. People think I'm the dog person. It's a good thing I know Gail's number or can find it. Historian, that's me. Planning board, Art Cassiola is chairman.
You're good to switch.
Oh, thank you. Gary Henry Jr., Matt Crow, Angela Smith, Patty Reichert, Peter Ward, and Robert Zabracki. Did I miss anybody? I think I did. Attorney is Kurt Schrader, assessor Denise Spalding, and constables are Chris Townsend and Brian Henry. Village government is Steve Sparling, mayor. Clerk is Jan Schwartz. Accounts is Jean Dewey. Public Works, Marvin Roberts. Code enforcer, Michael Katchmeyer. And board members are Nancy King, Chris Brown, Mike Schwartz, and Gary Consol. Additional village officials. Historian, Carol. Attorney, Kurt Schrader. Police chief, Demir Lazarus. Court justice is Les Schwartz, and assessor is Denise Spalding. Now, one of the other things that happened this year is the village dissolution vote. In 2009, concerned citizens in the village presented the village board with a signed petition of 148 signatures to consider a plan for dissolution of the village government. In 2010, the village board formed a committee and hired the Center for Governmental Research firm to provide assistance. Now, I do have their report, but I was not going to bore you all with the details because the goal of the study was to provide the Village of Candor residents with the necessary data about the most cost-effective ways in which to deliver municipal services up to and including dissolution of the village. It was the intent of the village board to place a dissolution plan for the village before the voters in March of 2011, which they did. Without getting into all the background, the study was completed in late 2010. In March 2011, the village residents rejected the dissolution of the village government by a vote of 165 to 70. So that's people having a say in their government. Candor community is rich in youth sporting events, school sporting events, school art shows, and other band, music, choral, and they have several clubs and organizations too for the children. Now the school district enrollment figures are interesting as well. Elementary K through 6, these are the 2011 figures, are 427. Junior high, 7 to 12 is 373. Private school is 21. Homeschool is 27 children. Charter school is 10. And CCS alternative school is 14, which total enrollment is 872. So that's where we are with them. Now, as I said before, our community is very rich in our church groups, our book clubs, our writers groups, fraternal organizations, community clubs, Chamber of Commerce, veterans organizations, and more. This is just a handful. And that says a lot for our people in the community. I mean, everybody seems to be involved in one or more events or things. And again, that's what makes it so difficult to try to get to everybody's stuff. It just doesn't happen. We're also rich in wildlife. The nuisance animals. These are all taken in my yard. I did not get the bear twice that was in my yard. So I know other people have gotten pictures of bear, and they are here. And there's other wild animals, but these are the ones that we can really deal with a lot better. And our final picture for the day is fall foliage. You know, it's just, we have beautiful hillsides. Candor is a great place to live. And to me, this is all Candor today. Any questions? That is it.
Carol, I have a question. I don't understand.
Carol some extra recognition for all the work that she's done all year. And I want to do so in the form of a resolution. Whereas the town of Candor celebrated the bicentennial anniversary of the forming of the town during 2011, and whereas town historian Carol A. Henry devoted countless hours preparing, organizing, and conducting several special events, and whereas she formed a bicentennial committee to involve other community organizations in the celebrations, and whereas she did extensive research in order to write and produce an up-to-date book on the history of the town of Candor, and whereas due largely to her efforts, the year-long celebration was successful and enjoyed by many. Now therefore be it resolved that the Candor Town Board gratefully acknowledges and expresses great appreciation and thanks to historian Carol A. Henry for the efforts that she put forth in order to make the celebration of 200 years of the town of Candor a great success. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that's not all. We also want to present Carol with a plaque acknowledging all of the effort and work and many hours spent making this bicentennial year a success. And so this plaque reads, presented to Carol A. Henry by the town of Candor, with acknowledgement and in grateful appreciation for her great effort as town historian in organizing and conducting several projects and events in connection with the bicentennial anniversary of the forming of the town of Candor. Because of her devoted interest in the history of Candor, she also inspired several organizations to become involved in the year-long celebration, which was successful and enjoyed by many, presented October 26, 2011. Okay.
We can party?
Now we're in party. Yes, please stay, enjoy the refreshments, continue to look through the displays that we have, look over the items that are here. There's still time to buy raffle tickets, and we will, at the end of the activity, draw for the raffle prizes. So please enjoy and thank you for